Oh yeah. Oh, clear water, yeah.
This is Mike Chevront, and welcome to another episode of Outdoor Adventures. Get ready for high adventure as we take you back to 1993, hiking in the High Sierra Horton Creek Canyon. My brother Dave, I call him D, and I have spent decades camping, hiking, and exploring all over the High Sierra. In 1969, we tackled the Sierra's Mount Whitney, the highest mountain in the lower 48 states, and made it to the summit. We always have our cameras in hand during outdoor adventures, as we did on this backpacking trip into the backcountry of Yosemite National Park in 1971. We filmed our hike with two movie cameras. I carried a regular 8mm film camera, and Dee had a new super 8mm film camera. Both were silent cameras, no sound. We filmed the entire trip as we hiked our way back to Chilna Falls, deep in the wilderness where we spent 3 days camping and trout fishing. These scenes too were shot on film and not video. In the mid-1970s, we took up rock climbing and rappelling for a while before deciding that we preferred hiking up mountains rather than climbing them. Here's my brother rappelling for the first time. And here I am stepping over the edge. In 1975, I hiked up the Mount Whitney Trail again. Back then, there was no quota for hiking and camping this most popular trail, and I just walked into the ranger station in Lone Pine and got my permit on the spot. My intention was to meet up with my brother and a friend somewhere along the trail who had started hiking a week earlier on the John Muir Trail, and then to summit Mount Whitney for a second time. I set up camp for the night at Trail Camp at 12,000 feet, along with quite a few other hikers. In the morning, I got up and left my pack behind at the camp and just took my Bota bag full of water and camera before heading up the 96 switchbacks to the summit of Whitney. I surprised my brother and a friend, Alan Roberts, near Trail Crest, who had just summited the mountain after finishing up a 50-mile hike along a section of the John Muir Trail. They had no idea that I would be up there at nearly 14,000 feet to greet them. The summit of Mount Whitney. Up until fairly recently, when satellite technology determined that Whitney was actually 9 feet higher, 14,496 feet was the accepted elevation of the mountain as shown on this plaque. In 1984, we shot video for the first time during Outdoor Adventures. My brother brought a professional camera and video recording deck with us on trips to the ancient Britscombe Pine Forest and to Eureka Sand Dunes near Death Valley. My brother lugged this heavy outfit around to get some shots on tape. It just about did him in. The camera was a large shoulder-held affair with a long cable attached to a heavy video cassette recorder and battery pack that was carried with a strap over the other shoulder.
Damn, I'll sure be glad when they come out with this lighter weighing equipment. My God.
Things are heavy, aren't they? God.
This thing's got to weigh, 20, 30 pounds with the battery.
It's harder than hell to carry up the hill with the camera
Yes.
and everything.
That's why I'm panting here.
In 1988, I got my hands on a new compact video camera, and in 1993, we took it with us on a backpacking trip up Horton Creek in the High Sierra near Bishop. The trail up Horton Creek Canyon starts at the base of the Eastern Sierra, just 5 miles west of my home in Bishop, California. Our goal was to hike up to Horton Lake and camp. This standard definition video can't compare to the quality of modern high def, but it's the best we had at the time.
Well, here we are, Dee, the start of the trail. I think I only got 50 pounds this time. No, maybe 45.
Yeah, this feels like 50 pounds to me too. Damn. Why do we do this, Mike? Ready? Yeah, I think so.
We hiked up an old Jeep trail that had been closed to vehicle traffic by the Wilderness Act of 1964. The trail was not designed for hiking. With few switchbacks and a 2,500-foot elevation gain, it was a hot and enduring 5-mile trek. Living in Bishop at 4,100 feet, I had an advantage over my brother as he comes from a small town in Northern California that sits at only 300 feet above sea level, so he had some difficulty keeping up with me hiking at high elevation. The trail guidebooks called this a strenuous hike, and they were right.
7 switchbacks so far. Right down there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're on the 7th one now going up.
Yeah. And look at the steep grade we gotta go up right here. Been up mountain goat trails, worse than this, Dee.
That's right. Freighted iron stoves and steeper grades than this.
Freighted iron stoves up steeper grades than this. This ain't bad.
That's extremely enduring. Bet you we can see this from your house right here.
Yeah.
If we have binoculars, we could look from my house and look straight up here. And I bet you we could just kind of scan up here and see this tree right here. We'll do it when we get back and see if we can find it.
Yes, I'm out of breath.
Well, I guess we better get going, Dee, if we're gonna make it to Horton Lake. Here we go. That's Boundary Peak, the highest mountain in Nevada right there.
It's only like, what, 13,000 feet though?
13,000 something feet, yeah, something like that.
I'd like to climb Boundary sometime.
Yeah, so would I.
I'd like to do Boundary and White Mountain Peak.
Of course, then right up here is Mount Tom, which is 13,000 something. Oh yeah, no kidding.
Is there a trail up the top?
Kinda.
Or is there a scramble?
We'll find out someday.
Yeah, you thought Buttermilk.
Huh. Yeah, let's get going.
Okay.
Now we gotta go down.
Okay.
I hear water down there too.
Oh yeah.
I hear water down there.
I can barely stand up in here. It's got your basic table, little bed, homemade bench in there. got like a sink. I don't know how they hauled this up here. Stuck it in here, but too bad they have running water in it.
I know it.
It's like you're playing some fishing.
As interesting as the old cabin was set in the beautiful meadow, we were bothered by more than a few mosquitoes.
Mike, there's trout over here. Oh, that little creek. Let's see. Oh yeah.
So far, we've gone up this far.
No GPS back then, just paper maps and a compass.
We missed the trail, which followed the creek up. So what we want to do is go up around here. It'll take us up a little bit, follow the old mining road up like that. And it looks like another 2 miles and we'll be at the lake. Just another 2 miles.
Miles, that all? That's not too bad. It's quite a ways, but it's not too bad.
It's water.
Yeah.
This trail was so infrequently used that we met only one other person during our entire hike, a day hiker out of Bishop. We basically had this whole wilderness area to ourselves.
Now, Dee, it's only about 1.25 miles, so we'll be at the lake. I think we'll be all right. Well, Dee, we made it.
We were lucky too, as there seemed to be no mosquitoes around our camp. We packed in frozen steaks for dinner, which thawed by the time we arrived at the lake. In 1993, bear-proof food containers were not yet required, and downed firewood was still easy to find. We made a hearty breakfast of bacon and scrambled eggs, washed down with hot coffee before packing up our gear to hike above the lake to see the abandoned cabins at the Hanging Valley Mine. Seeing all the pan-sized trout in the lake made us regret not bringing our fishing rods. made it to the cabins at the Hanging Valley Mine and checked them out before heading back down the Horton Creek Canyon Trail.